I haven't done one of these audio blogs in a long time, and I'm not very technical. I hope we can even get it off my iPhone tomorrow and post it at Infowars.com. But I'm fully committed to freedom. I'm fully committed to this species. I'm fully committed to telling the truth. I am so blessed. Every day is just a wonderful blessing. The sunsets, food, green grass, fish swimming around, in the water. I was out in Santa Cruz. It was so beautiful to give a speech and watched seals swimming around and sea otters with babies on their chests, cracking open oysters. It's just the proof of God is in the firmament. It's in the stars. It's in the forest. It's in the cool autumn wind where you can smell the fragrant leaves. God is in that little whiff of smoke you get from somebody cooking a barbecue or a fireplace outside. It's in the rosy cheeks of a sweet little innocent toddler smiling up, looking at you full of wonderment and discovery. And good is worth fighting for. Decency is worth fighting for. Honor and truth is worth fighting for. And I just want to see free humanity awaken and sweep this corruption aside. It's not going to go away without a fight. But we know if we allow it to continually, scientifically, incrementally drag us deeper into its hydra's clutches, that this technocratic terror that's been created will destroy this species and our precious humanity along with it. All right, that's my little piece. And that's where I stand. And I just pray that I can focus and get myself together. And, I've lost 30 plus pounds in the last 2 years. And we're all in this process of trying to get healthy, to not eat GMO, to not smoke cigars or drink beer or, eat too much red meat. And I just want to purify myself physically in my temple. I want to purify my mind. I want to be strong so I can be what I need to be, as an example, so that I can live up to the expectations that so many great people have in my leadership capacity in the fight against the globalist. The globalists know I'm real, and they're scared of anybody that's real. And what frustrates me is that the lies that are told about me and the distortions or the grain of truth and things I've done that are wrong that are then blown up to mammoth proportions, it's all used to damage the image and the idea of an individual standing up and working with others to fight back against corruption. And so when the media and the system and MSNBC this weekend, last night, attacked me again, when they do that, they're attacking everyone who's standing up against the New World Order, standing up for truth. And the fact that I am attacked so much is a major indicator of how effective we've been. And at a certain little place in me where I still have a little bit of fear left, I guess I've subconsciously realized all this time, but now I'm consciously realizing it, that when I do act stupid, when I'm not controlled, when I do get angry, when I do blow up, it's more than just laziness. At a subconscious level, I realize that if I really turn myself over to the creator of the universe, and if I truly am more pious and focused and walk down the road that all of us are meant to go down, that all of us are given the choice to go down, that undoubtedly the system will destroy me sooner rather than later. But I am going to attempt to pull myself up by my bootstraps and do an even better job. And I am going to attempt to be as real as I possibly can. Because the mind has a lot of different thoughts and competing agendas pulling on you, even when you try to be pure, even when you focus on being good. When you associate with other people and organizations and groups, there's those subtle influences. There's those incremental things that happened. And whereas I've gotten much better over the years, all I'm saying is I need to accelerate to being even more focused and researched and wholesome. And all of us do. And I would just challenge people out there, you know, take that first step against tyranny. All right, I've said enough. It's a nice, cool evening, about 70 degrees out here, and it's in the quiet of the night that you can really think. And I just wanted to talk to all of you out there and just tell you that I love you and I appreciate you, and I want to thank all those that do have discernment and who are strong and who are helping others that are weak around you. And that the greatest charity that we can help people with is unlocking their mind. Because what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Darrell Rundis, pastor, he gave me an analogy a few years ago, and I'll close with this. If somebody came to you and offered you $1,000 for your eyes, would you take it? And even the poorest homeless person would say no. What if I offered you $1 million? Would you give up your eyes? You're going to be blind. Maybe 1 out of 1 billion people would say yes, give me $1 million, you can have my eyes. Maybe 1 out of 10,000, I don't know. If you offer them $1 billion, how about $1 trillion for your eyes? Maybe 1 out of 1,000 would give up their eyes for $1 trillion. And those would probably actually be very moral people who would want to use the $1 trillion for good. But the point is it would actually only be the most moral people that probably would give up their eyes for $1 trillion. And I guess that's kind of a twist on what Darrell Rundis, the story he told. But I was just thinking, I think I would give my eyes up for $1 billion to try to help people. But to go back to his original story, would you give up your eyes for $1,000? No. Would you give it up for $1 million? No. Would you give it up for $1 billion? No. Well, if the eyes are just the window to the soul, or the window to your mind, one of the senses you see the world through, you've got smell and touch and taste and the rest of it, well then, what would you give for your soul? And the answer is nothing. If you wouldn't give up your eyes for $1 billion, why would you give up your soul? And even if you don't believe in the soul, what is your brain? An electrochemical computer. And it's programmed from birth with all of this twisted images and all of this corruption, and incrementally it just gets more and more wild and more degrading. Not to expand you or give you the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, but to actually blunt your mind to where you can't recognize anything anymore. It's like pornography. They've done countless studies where they actually find that it destroys men and women's capacity to love their wife or their husband. It actually lowers, especially men's sex drive in all the studies. It actually stunts you from going out and finding a mate, finding a woman, or if you're a woman, a man to be with. And we always made the joke back in college. I was never big on topless bars, but I've been to a few of them. I haven't been to one in about 15 years. But you get drugged to them after work or in college or for a frat party or whatever. That everybody's looking at the waitress with the low-cut shirt. They're not looking at the women dancing around naked on the poles, because it's the woman in her natural state. That's what's beautiful. Not a woman spread out like a buffet. Sure, at a certain level, at a certain bestial level, it's satisfying, but it damages your capacity to enjoy the more pure things, the more subtle things. And that's basically my story on that front. But we're just losing our soul. We're losing it for nothing. We're losing our minds and losing the capacity to think for ourselves, and we're being enslaved in the process. So we're paying for it. We're not just being paid to be slaves and sell our souls. we're paying with the wages of sin, death and destruction. We're giving everything up, all the true blessings, for nothing, for a lie, for ashes, for death, for dehumanization. So you're not just giving up your eyes for $1,000, you're giving up your mind's eye, you're giving up your intellect, your discernment, and you're letting the world program you with self-destructive garbage, so you'll be a malfunctioning, weak creature that the social engineers can manipulate and control. I don't want to be a biological android. All right, that's it. I love you all. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.